Yes. So I'm a little bit backlogged on my policy points. Today, I'm over in Springfield at the Springfield Museum, and then there's a library right there. And there's a bunch of sculptures of Dr. Seuss characters with Dr. Seuss amongst them. And I'm sitting at the chair that is right behind a storybook. So Worcester was really enlightening and interesting. The way that the public transit runs, it's free for the buses. They go all over. There's plenty of forested areas, places for people to sleep outside. And there was a lot of homeless there and a lot of complaints about harassment from officials. So my policy points kind of encapsulate that because it's a fear of mine. It's a fear of mine to be ransacked while I'm sleeping, have my gear ransacked if I have a permanent camp when I'm not there, being bothered by law enforcement officials, being bothered by any other type of public works person, because when it's all you got and that's where you live, and somebody comes along and messes with it, it's devastating. So this is week 5 and 6 policy points. One thing I thought a lot about is each big city with large populations of homeless having a centralized day center for homeless people. Just a place where they can go and wash their clothes, take showers, watch TV, charge phones, have some coffee and snack, whatever. You know, the things that people need to do during the day so that they can live in a healthy way. There's day centers in some places not. This is really important, and it's important for the health of the community. If you have places like this everywhere, that there are large populations of homeless and homeless resources, you can bring in help, like social workers, case managers, people that can connect to resources, help people get into the shelter system comfortably, whatever it may be. So that's policy point number 1. I really liked that the buses were free for everybody in Worcester. And I think that that should be a staple everywhere for people that are homeless or impoverished. I think there should be a program where they can ride the buses for free. Like, that's a huge help. Because even like the thought of going in and having to pay a little bit of money here, pay a little bit of money there is uncomfortable. And if you have no money, then you're stuck. You're stuck walking. A lot of homeless people just walk, so they don't have a large area that they can move around about. And being able to have that service would be wonderful. So that's policy point number 2. Policy point number 3, I think, is important, and I think that there are a lot of mandates around this. Policy point is number 3 is don't remove encampments without first making sure that the person that's living there has other options, can move their camp, or whatever it may be, especially in the winter. If you take down a person's camp in the winter, and it's a person that doesn't want to go in the shelter system or can't for some reason, you've put them in severe harm of exposure, not knowing where to go. If somebody has nothing, and you come along and you destroy what little they have, then in my mind, that's one of the worst things you could possibly do. Considering that a lot of homeless people make encampments and live there, there needs to be better policies around figuring out how we can take care of these people that are living in these encampments. It's that simple, right? Like, why would we as a society hurt another human being because they don't live up to our standards of living? And I really deeply understand the effect that it would have on a person. And I could see what the situation would be is if somebody came in and ransack an encampment or whatever it may be, and the person that's living there gets upset, angry, irate, and then it's their fault. They're the ones that are punished. So that's number 3, and those are the big ones that I have right now. Being homeless has taught me a lot. It's taught me a lot about humility. It's taught me a lot about observation and understanding. And I think as a society, there should be more work done towards understanding a person's situation, their position, and being able to find the best way to help that person. And that takes acceptance. And if anything, if this project shows society how to be more accepting and understanding of people that live a life that is a lot different than the life you live, then I feel like my work is done. It's so important that we do right by all our other fellow human beings. And with that, I close